Yo, guys, I have a story for you that's absolutely nuts. So last night I went to a party, and it was honestly the bomb. I got absolutely hammered. Mainly because I was hooked on taking shots, and there was also this den that was playing fire music the whole entire night. I even got somebody to play with my... Alright, welcome back to Zelda 3, guys. I am your gourmet host for today, Attacking Toucans. And we're starting off the episode by fighting Bongo Bongo, which will give us the last medallion, and having that will allow us to go to Ganon's castle. So yeah, after we do this, I'm not entirely sure what I want to do. If we want to go to Ganon's castle or maybe Ice Cavern, I'm not sure. I'm kind of just figuring it out as we go. But isn't that the charm of the randomizer? Like every single day you're clicking on an Ocarina of Time video, but you never like fully know what it's gonna be. Like if you're watching a regular Ocarina of Time Let's Play, you know that they're just gonna go in like the sequence of events. But that's the fun of this. Is like you never know what's gonna happen, and I love it. So today I'm going to try to fight Bongo Bongo with ice arrows for the first time, which I've never done. Oh my god, he's jerking off my whole entire body. Okay, so let's shoot the hand with the ice arrow and see what happens. Oh, it freezes the hand. The other hand is like trying to break it open. What the heck? How does this work? Is he stunned? Oh, he's stunned right now when this is happening. Can I shoot the eye? Nice! Okay. That's actually really fast. I didn't get a hit on him. That's unfortunate. This is like a super big time crunch, isn't it? Bongo Bongo is just like one of the darkest enemies in this game. Apparently he is the way he is because he was decapitated by the royal family, which I read a comment stating that the guy we sell big pose to, you know, the guy has like the red eyeball. Apparently he's just like Bongo Bongo. He was somebody that was decapitated, but he somehow managed to survive. And the way he stays alive is by harnessing the power or the spirits from the big pose that you sell to him. So that's kind of weird. And I don't think ice arrows are the strat here, guys. There's like too small of a window, and I can't use the ice arrows and the Lens of Truth at the same time, so I have to like pause in between each thing to bring it out. I'm not sure if it saves any time or makes things easier. It felt like the hard mode, honestly. Yeah, so let's just do this the regular way. Bonk. Bongo Bongo also kind of looks like a flower. Like, just like a pretty little flower. The middle is just where the pollen is, and those little flappy things are his petals. It makes him way less scary if you see it that way. He's like a giant plant with hands still. But the hands are made of broccoli. There we go. Bongo Bongo is turning into a shadow puddle. Ew, it's all over my boots. Gross, I'm gonna have to wash these. Gonna have to get them shined by one of those people in the airports. We got another Gerudo Fortress Key. I think we have 3 of these now. I think I forgot to mark one in one of the previous episodes. I saw a few comments pointing that out. So weird how it says Saria as the Sage Awakens. So weird. But look, all the medallions are filled up. That's awesome. Now if we go to the Temple of Time, we can get the Prelude of Light from Sheik. Alright, let's play the Prelude of Light to go learn the Prelude of Light. But it's crazy that we've already got all the medallions. We've already beat every single main dungeon in this game. This Let's Play has gone by so fast. Heart Container. Okay, we got our prize, our real prize from fighting Bongo Bongo. So here's what I'm thinking we do. Because I kind of want to go like in a weird order with things. So what I want to do is I want to go to Ganon's castle and do the trials for right now. And then once we do those, we can go back to the Ice Cavern and the Gerudo Training Grounds and do stuff a little bit out of order. Because normally I save Ganon's castle for very last. But the cool thing about this randomizer, like I said earlier, is you guys never know what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go do some even weirder sequence breaking, do Ganon's castle, and then we will go back and do the other things afterwards. And then we'll fight Ganon at the very, very end. We'll still save Ganondorf for the end. Link is having trust issues with this bridge. The bridge is singing to us. Gosh, I feel like that would make all bridges in real life better, as if they sang. I would want my bridge to sing Rihanna because my bridge would be a bad bitch. Wow, this place seems kind of echoey. Alright, so Some of these challenges have more prizes than others. So I think I'm just going to go in order from what gives us the most, so we can get the hostest with the mostest. But first, there's some Deku Scrubs down here in this secret little entrance that most people don't know about. Like, this is a really weird hidden thing, but there's 4 Deku Scrubs down here to get you all the refills you could possibly want. Everybody was telling me that method of getting the Deku Scrubs out of the ground. Freaking Megaton Hammer. It puts in work. So we have freaking 4 scrubs here. This is straight up Hanukkah for us. So many gifts. Alright, first one is Garuda Fortress Key. Is that all 4 of them? Sick, that means we can actually go to the Garuda training grounds. So yeah, we had to even come here in the first place to be able to even access the Garuda training grounds. I didn't even have a choice. Number 2, another heart container. Damn. That's all the heart containers. Another thing on the tracker completely filled up. I'm not sure if you guys are like me, but just watching the tracker fill up is one of the most satisfying things about Zelda for me. I love watching it go from having absolutely nothing to being completely filled. Last but not least, Garuda Training Grounds Key. Is that all the keys for that too? Oof, boy. This tracker's getting more and more filled. We also have all these rupees that we can go spend at the shops, because I think there's some really expensive Scratchy Boy tokens that we can buy from some of these shops. So we'll start down here since there's the most chests in this room. Link's quads are going to be so defined. I love that. It shows how strong that barrier is. Even though you throw like a multiple ton spire at it, it doesn't break the barrier, it breaks the spire. That's some really strong magic. I think Ganondorf really paid attention in wizarding school. This is truly the jackpot. There's 6 treasure chests in here. I think 7 technically once you kill all the enemies. It's freaking great. Speaking of magic, any of you watching, did any of you guys play that new Pokemon Go styled game for Harry Potter? The Wizards Unite game? Did you guys even know that came out? Because there's a wizarding game called Wizards Unite. It's like Pokemon Go, but it's based around Harry Potter. And it absolutely flopped. They were probably expecting it to be as big as Pokemon Go, but then it just did not catch on. But I don't think the world needs 2 games like Pokemon Go. Like, it's not one of those game styles that you need a lot of alternatives for. And plus, like, it's way too involved. You have to do like way too much tapping on your screen. It like takes, like when Pokemon Go, you can play the game with 1 hand. Wizards Unite takes 2 hands a lot of the time, and if you're like walking your dog or out on a walk, sometimes you're not able to use both of your hands. I'm really happy I came to Gaina's Castle. There's just so much in here. Biggest bomb bag. Boy. Last like major item I'm super looking forward to is the Tycoon wallet. I'm not sure if I've ever found that in a personal playthrough before. 2 more chests. Let's go. Fire Temple. Okay, we can go finish Fire Temple now. Which, in case you don't remember, we still haven't gotten everything inside that temple. Even though it feels like we're at the very end of this series. Aw, I wish we found the Tycoon wallet before that. Damn it. Yeah, even though we're at the end of the series, we're not really at the end. It's kind of like a weird situation, I know. For some reason, I always expect a sneaky boy to fall down on me in this room. But no, just the chests. I play Zelda's lullaby, and I open the chest. I got some bombs that I'll relish. I bet you're so jealous. I just love going through these Ganon Castle trials. I wish every single Zelda game had trials like this for their final dungeon. I just really, really love the concept of a game putting you in an area that reminds you of all the previous trials you had to go through. This game does it really, really well. Majora's Mask did it pretty well too, with the 4 trials inside the moon. Wind Waker also sort of did it, except they also made you refight all the bosses. I'm not sure how I feel about that, having to refight the bosses. That was a little bit too much, in my opinion. Oh no, don't grab me. I probably should have broken up in these pots for some magic. We're almost out. Oops. Let's see, Twilight Princess, it didn't really have any trials. Garuda's Castle was like its own dungeon. That didn't really throw back to the other dungeons. But I think the thing it did right is it really made you use every single weapon that you found in the game, I believe. Which that's pretty close. Weapon throwback. And then Skyward Sword, I think it sort of had a dungeon towards the end, right? That you revisited a lot of the other temples. I think I remember one where like you had to rearrange the rooms somehow with magic. I don't remember it very well though. It's been a while since I've played that game. And then, yeah, Breath of the Wild didn't have anything like that as far as I'm concerned. But it's also like Breath of the Wild is one of those games that I talk about quite a bit, but I try not to talk about too in depth because I still haven't 100% of the game. So I can't say that Breath of the Wild didn't include such and such because I don't know for sure. Like I'm kind of assuming because I haven't seen it online anywhere. It's one of those assumption type things. I can't be bothered to move the statue whenever I have this many hearts and double defense. It just isn't worth it. There's like no reason to play this game carefully if you have so many hearts, and then when you have a fairy at the same time. I have 40 hearts right now. There's nothing to worry about. It's just I'm plowing through. Sorry I had to end this way. Just how it be sometimes. Alright, Bombshrew, do your magic. A couple episodes ago I mentioned Bombshrews being a Zelda enemy. And so many people didn't realize this, but Bombshrews are based on a Zelda enemy. You see them in Majora's Mask. They're these rats that have bombs on their tails. And they're a very overlooked enemy. But I really love them because I love the fact that Bombshrews have like some lore to them. Blump blump. I really do enjoy the sound of the chest falling down. I don't know why. Fire Temple Compass. Yeah, this is really the episode where we're just filling this tracker out, huh? We're not finding very many Scratchy Boy tokens in here. We're just finding all the stuff we haven't, that we really want. Scratchy Boys at this point are the least desirable. Even like ice chests are more desirable because at least they're funny. Here, Garuda's Castle was really hoarding a lot of like maps and compasses though. It's just so humorous to me that Ganondorf builds a castle and then makes like all of these challenges to get up into his room. Like he doesn't have to make these rooms accessible. Why did he build doors to these trials? Like he could literally just keep the key himself and then Link would never be able to do anything. I feel like there wasn't a lot of forethought in this. So I try to cut out like the pause screen because Ocarina of Time, one of my biggest complaints with this game. Oh look, I never realized the spirit symbol was yin yang. Interesting. One of the biggest problems with Ocarina of Time is the pause menu. This game just takes so long to pause. Like you press it and it takes like a second and a half to pull up, which isn't that bad, but in Majora's Mask and every other Zelda game practically, you pause the game and it's just like because it's really quick, but in this game you have to wait. And I know like a second and a half isn't that much, but for some reason it's kind of weird. Whenever you're commentating, time passes by way more slowly, if that makes sense. So for me, if I don't talk for a few seconds, those few seconds feel more like 10 seconds to me. It's really weird because I feel like if I don't say something for a few seconds, I feel like I'm like being boring. When in reality, it's okay not to talk for a few seconds. But I think that also just kind of comes with a regular social anxiety I have. Like sometimes when I'm hanging out with people, and if the person I'm hanging out with isn't good at like conversation, like they don't really say much back, and I'm having to put all the work into the conversation to make the conversation flow, then like the few awkward gaps where there's not much talking, it just feels really, really weird to me. Even if it's like 5 to 10 seconds, which is totally normal in my head, those 5 to 10 seconds feel like 30 seconds, and I don't know why that is. I think that's like one of the biggest elements of social anxiety, is just awkward pauses feeling way more longer than they really are. Link, our boy doing CrossFit. Make ourselves a platform. And also like Zelda game difficulty is so weird to me because I just remember coming through this game my very first time and trying to beat all these trials in Ganondorf's castle. In this room specifically, I remember just spending like an hour on just this room trying to collect these silver coins because it was just so difficult for me. And now I'm literally able to do it while holding a full conversation. Oh no, I just screwed myself. You should not jump on that with hover boots. No, I think the other reason why things felt so difficult when I was younger was because the amount of time I was allowed to play video games was so limited. Like, I was only allowed usually to have an hour a day on average, and I couldn't usually play video games on Sundays, so I didn't get to play video games that much. So if I had an hour, I'd play like maybe 30 minutes of Ocarina of Time, and that's not much time to warm up, so I would like come into these rooms, probably do it for like 20 minutes or so, which feels like a long time as a kid, and then not be able to do it, and then have to come back the next day or in a couple days to play again, and I wouldn't be like warmed up or anything. So it's probably also like kind of situational why I wasn't very good at the games. But do you guys have any? That can actually be today's comment question of the day, is like, what is something in a video game that you remember struggling with a ton as a child, but now it's just something that is just really easy for you? Another thing for me is, so like Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine. Those games literally felt near impossible to me sometimes when I was a kid, some of the missions that you would have to do. And now, like, I'll die sometimes on some missions, but I can pretty much 100% the games pretty much no problem. Like I said, I'm not perfect, but it's not the same as it was when I was younger. Like, I can beat the game, like I can 100% Mario Sunshine in like 2 long gaming sessions now, when in my childhood it would take me months to beat a game like that. It's really insane how quickly I go through games now. Damn it! That pisses me off. Not a huge fan of this room. I think this is actually the room that you have to have fire arrows for. If you don't have fire arrows, you literally can't get through this room and beat the game. Sneaky boy. Lots of people. No! Get off of me! No! I hope I didn't steal anything. Doesn't seem like it. Lots of people are upset that I didn't put cowboy hats on them like I did in Zelda 2. And the reason I didn't do that is because in Zelda 2 we had the music randomizer, and every single time we were fighting an enemy, the music that would play was the Lon Lon Ranch music. Dun, dun. Like, you know what I'm talking about. And so it literally sounded like I was at like a cowboy ranch every single time I got near an enemy, so I made the likes wear cowboy hats. But we can't have that joke in this one because it's not the same. It seemed like my hover boots kind of glitched out right there. They were like on longer. I hovered longer than I feel like I was supposed to. Yank. Another chest. So pretty much for this randomizer, we have 6 more heart pieces. Oh my gosh, I hate this room so much. The reason I hate this room is it forces you to open up your inventory so often. And we're not even having to that often right here because we are able to pull the hover boots out whenever we want through the D-pad. But normally you have to pause the game for the hover boots too, which is another whole beast. Mr. Beast. Whew. Mr. Beast. He is a YouTuber who is freaking crazy. Mr. Beast is like one of those YouTubers where I love his video ideas, but I feel like he doesn't initiate them as well as he could. Like, I feel like he does like all these challenges where he has like people in one area and it's like the last to leave this area gets $100,000. But I feel like 90% of those videos he does, like the last 2 or 3 people end up just like negotiating and accepting defeat at the same time and splitting the money. I do not like how that's something you're able to do in his videos because it literally kind of defeats the purpose, in my opinion. It bothers me so much. I feel like it'd be so much better if they like literally just had to force or like just did something that made it even harder for them to where one of them had to give up. Like if both people aren't giving up, add an extra challenge and be like, all right, no more food for the rest of the challenge. So like hunger becomes like a thing. So like eventually somebody has to give up. But then maybe if like a $50,000 or so was in the line, maybe the 2 contestants would like literally starve themselves to death trying to get that money, which would be really unhealthy. But there has to be like something they can do to make those challenges crazier. Blue fire. Let's take some of this back with us to unthaw King Zora. Another iconic room. Everybody loves a good ice block puzzle. Gotta start off with this one over here. This one tricks you. They make you think that you need to push that ice block into the hole, but it's really this one you gotta push. I'm surprised they don't have more block puzzles in this game. Like the first time they really introduce a block puzzle to you, I think, is in Spirit Temple, where you just have to pull out that sun block and push it underneath the sun in the room with the Beamos. And that's not even like a block puzzle. This is like the closest thing we get. I guess Ice Cavern has one as well, doesn't it? Never mind. There's a few. Also, speaking of, it kind of reminds me of last episode's comment question of the day, which it is time to hit on. So last episode, I asked you guys, if you were to make your own Zelda minigame, what would you do? And I have to admit, I was a little bit underwhelmed by the Zelda minigame ideas, but I guess Zelda kind of already covers most of the minigame ideas themselves, so there's not many new ideas that can come out. But we still have some good ones that we can read about. So the first one, somebody suggested that they add a real cuckoo dodging minigame, kind of like that episode where I was dodging the cuckoos for as long as possible. We'll have that be an actual minigame, but have it get progressively harder and harder, where like they add more chickens as it progresses. It'd be kind of fun. Another good idea was an Octorok reflection minigame, to where you have to hit targets, but instead of having your own projectiles, Octoroks are shooting you with their rocks, and you have to use your shield to reflect them at the targets. I feel like that'd be really difficult, but it'd still be pretty fun. The next one is probably the thing that was suggested the most, but it was to use the Megaton Hammer to have like a whack-a-mole minigame. So you could go to Vivagia's chamber after you beat that boss fight, and play like a whack-a-mole minigame that like the Goron set up or something like that. You're in the 80s, my dudes. We're getting there. Next idea was a Coliseum, like a enemy fight gauntlet. They related it sort of to the Battleplex in Ratchet and Clank, where you have to fight waves of enemies. That is something I really wish they would have included, because I was talking about yesterday how I really like the variety of enemies in Ocarina of Time. I think an enemy gauntlet type thing would have been cool. They ended up adding that to Twilight Princess, where you have like floors. But I think I like the idea of like it being something set up where they like release enemies out of cages for you to fight, where it seems like more staged rather than going through another dungeon would be really cool. Blow me. So refreshing. I always forget how to get this one. Is there a hookshot target? How do I always forget how to get this rupee? What? Oh, wait. Forgot. Hitting this down here is how it's done. It makes a random... What? You can shoot that far? Boy? Get out of here with your laser beams. The last comment question answer I thought was really silly. I don't think Nintendo would ever do this, obviously, but have a mini game that's based around Saw. And they like use the mini game example from Saw 5, which in my opinion is probably one of the worst Saw movies. Because one of the things I like about Saw movies is usually the traps are set up to where like nobody has to die, but I'm pretty sure in Saw 5 like the traps are set up to where people had to die, and they used one of those traps for an example where there's like a merry-go-round, like a carousel or whatever, and they had like Malin, Ruto, and all the females from Zelda attached, and Link only has the ability to save one or two of them, and the rest of them die, which that's just so dark. Sometimes I can't believe the Saw movies exist, in like just horror movies in general, but at the same time, they exist because people love watching them. I am one of those people. I consider myself a gore whore. I love scary movies. The main reason why isn't necessarily because of the like scary elements. I think the thing I like most about scary movies is the fact that they're usually low budget, so a lot of them have really unique ideas. People have to get really creative with them. They're all about the idea. It's very rare that ideas are reused. That's actually not true. There's lots of tropes that are reused a lot, but the really good ones are usually like kind of dive into the human psyche and like what people do in certain situations, and that's why I think Saw is so interesting. And I also like horror movies because usually the actors they use are not famous actors. They usually use like kind of ordinary people, so the people you see in those movies, you don't see them as like some famous actor, you just see them as a random person. That's like a thing. I'm not really a fan, like whenever a movie comes out and they try to sell a movie by saying, oh, these 3 actors are in it, that actually defers me, because when there's a famous actor in a movie, it makes me lose my interest, because whenever I watch the movie, I see that actor as the person that I recognize. I don't see them as some random character in a movie that I'm being introduced to for the first time. Especially Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. It's really hard to see him as an actor in a lot of movies that I watch. I'm just like, I just see The Rock. It's weird. Alright, taking a detour to the Lost Woods because we have one more Scratchy Boy to get in here. We've actually almost found every single gold Skulltula in the game, I think in the overworld, there's only a couple left, and they're in the desert. I think with this, we've gotten like almost every single overworld Skulltula. Haven't got all the tokens yet, but we've killed almost all 100 spiders, which is pretty crazy. I'm pretty sure I set up a Furora's Wind in the Fire Temple. Did I? Oh my gosh, this saves me so much time. I didn't even like plan this, but this I set up a warp point in the room that I needed to go to in order to progress in here. Man, past Tyler, he can be a great dude sometimes. Thank you, Tyler, from the past. You're very helpful. Oh no, I just realized we don't even have every single Fire Temple key. There's still one more. Wait, what the heck? How did I not make that jump? Or maybe it's because I didn't jump. I just hovered. Ah, the fire. Gosh, I'm like having flashbacks. That ROM hack. No. That ROM hack that I played in Empire's Adventure. This room and that ROM hack was like so freaking crazy. It was so difficult. I've mentioned that a few times. It was really cool. Empire's Adventure, it's, like I said, it's like Master Quest, but they redesigned the temples to be like 10 times better than they did in Master Quest. Like the puzzles, they actually utilize like every square foot of every temple. Because you know how a lot of these temples have like extra rooms that don't really have much use? In Empire's Adventure, that ROM hack, which I still really want to finish. I need to. I don't know why I haven't. It's because I haven't been streaming too much recently. But the way they utilize the space. Like, I love how they did Dodongo's Cavern, which is like one of the first temples in that game. It's amazing. Ma. I don't know why I translate everything into banana. Banana. I have issues. You got them too. We all got issues, guys. Today's comment question of the day. What are your issues? No, I'm just kidding. I already asked the comment question of the day. We can't have 2 comment questions. That would be absurd. But isn't it cool to know that we all have faults, that none of us are perfect? It's like, it gives you solace to know that even though you have things wrong with you, like we all have things wrong with us, except for Eyeball Frog. There is nothing wrong with Eyeball Frog. Eyeball Frog is the embodiment of perfection. And don't you ever forget that. If you ever are looking to be perfect, just look at Eyeball Frog. Okay, I forget how this song goes. I literally forget how every single song goes. I really hate Skullsanity. It's been the most annoying thing of this whole entire Let's Play. Because I literally have to have my phone next to me every single time I play one of the warp songs. And I have to like reopen up my photos and like look up what the song was. It's a pain and a half. That is what I wanted to do, right? Oh wait, yeah, but there was a switch under that I forgot to hit. No need to fear, Goron. Linky Poo is here. Honestly, I love that tattoo on the side of the Goron's arms. It just kind of looks like the Goron Ruby. It's so simple. I've always wanted to get a tattoo based around Zelda. Maybe that's what I'll get. I'll get a Goron tattoo, so I can feel like an honorary Goron. Bye, babe. Have fun with your freedom and stuff. Are we able to get any further without the next key? I'm pretty sure the locked door was on the other side of that room over there, so we might be able to progress without getting the other key, which would be phenomenal. Oh no, the timer! It had so much stress! I can't handle it! I can't handle the stress, guys! Okay, I handled it. Wait, actually, let's open the decoy door. Wait, I didn't even know you could do that. Oh my god, I glitched out the game, guys. Can I still, like, open it? That is weird. I broke the wall, but I didn't break the door. I did not even know that was possible. That's amazing. Look at me. The Scarecrow. Wasn't the Scarecrow the name of the first villain from Batman Begins? I think that was the only Batman movie I really remember enjoying. I've never really been a big fan of DC superhero movies. They're kind of just too dark. Marvel superhero movies, those are where it's at. The comedy. Gotta have the comedy. Also, just for the fun of it, I just wanted to show 5 more funny pictures I found from the text randomizer in the Ocarina of Time Discord. I am Ruto, Princess of the Zoras. Will you go through this tiny hole and get the treasure that's on the other side? I would have not expected no less from the man I chose to be my husband. Well, if you play around with it, you'll figure it out. I'm starving. Let's eat dinner, right now. That song makes me feel so good I can produce a lot of milk. I'm Domper the Gravekeeper. My face may be scary, but I'm not so bad. You were a Hylian. You were always bound to leave this forest. No, you're not allowed to leave the forest. Oh no, he's not breathing. Well, I can't think of anything funny to say. Sorry, kid. Hope you guys enjoyed those. Alright, we're in the big Goron Hammer room. Gotta make sure not to fall in this pit in the center, or else I have to climb all the way back here. And I'm not gonna use Fervorous Wind because I like to live on the edge. Let's do this. But yeah, thanks to everybody who posts those text randomizer things in the Discord. Those are so funny. I cannot wait to do a text randomizer myself. We'll do a stream of it sometime soon. Careful, careful. We made it. Alright, I think this is the last chest in the temple, if I remember correctly. It's a red rupee, great. I really should have spent some of my rupees before coming back through these temples, just so I could have had empty wallet space. Especially those two, oh, I can't believe I got 2 freaking huge rupees in Ganon's castle without spending my rupees first. I'm so dumb. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching this episode. We're going to go ahead and end it here. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Hope you have a great day.